early on with the first couple injuries, I was like, oh, like I need to get back. Like, but I think like my mom texted me like after this last injury and like they know how hard it's been on me. But my mom was like, you know, you've taken so much time for everybody else. Like you have to take time for yourself now. So just trying to do that the best I can too.
Yeah.
No one saw this coming. What started as a casual chat between Caitlin Clark and Sue Bird took a sharp turn. One minute they were swapping basketball stories, the next, Caitlin dropped a comment about her injury that left fans stunned. Was she hinting at a comeback? Playing mind games? Or setting up the next big storyline in basketball? Whatever it was, social media exploded, and Sue's reaction said it all. This wasn't just an interview. It was a cliffhanger.
About something that I cannot believe Caitlin Clark said out loud. Do I believe Caitlin Clark said this? Yeah. Do I believe she's right? Yeah. I cannot believe Caitlin Clark said this out loud. I'm shocked. I am shocked that she said it out loud in a Sue Bird podcast. And she's 100% correct. She's played on a team with Natasha Howard, who, let's be real, gets in the way.
Subscribe if you still believe Caitlin Clark is the best player in the WNBA. Her sit-down with Sue Bird wasn't just watched, it was devoured. Think surprise Netflix drop. One moment you don't even know it's coming, the next your feed is nothing but clips, reactions, and wild theories. Fans tuned in expecting a friendly conversation, some fun basketball talk, maybe a lighthearted story about the team, a little get-well-soon moment. But Caitlin came in with a different energy. She gave just enough to set social media on fire, and left everyone wanting more.
It has given me really good perspective on like what a lot of my teammates and people that teams I've been a part of, like certain people have had to go through. Like I've never been through anything like this. Like, and I think that's probably why it's been so hard, because like I've never really dealt with injury, and that's probably been a challenge in itself, because like when I first like was feeling pain, like I didn't understand it. Like I didn't know. I was like, am I just tight?
Sue Bird sat there with the look of someone who knew more than she was willing to say, and enjoying every second of it. From the start, she flashed those subtle, knowing smiles that said, I've been around long enough to understand how this works, but I'm not spilling the details. She didn't need to take over the conversation. Instead, she let Caitlin lead, adding the occasional well-timed nod or raised eyebrow, like she was adding just the right touch of seasoning. It was interviewing at its most skillful, guiding without pressing, listening without pushing.
We have gotten a little bit of an update. Here from Chloe Peterson, who is probably the main journalist involved with the Indiana Fever. And realistically, this is not an ideal scenario for anyone, but it's an update. And look, to say that she doesn't have any extra information is wrong. She 1,000,000% has extra information.
Caitlin came ready with answers, the kind so perfectly vague they could win an Olympic medal. She walked us through her injury history, starting with a quadriceps strain that seemed manageable, until it teamed up with a groin injury, like the unwanted duo of basketball setbacks. Just when she thought she was past it, another groin injury hit. Because in the WNBA, injuries don't just go away quietly, they follow soap opera rules. The villain you thought was gone? They always make a dramatic return in the season finale.
Like the deep three, the logo three, as we know it today, like came when you got to college, got stronger, got to college. But you were like, but I always had a step back.
I did always have to step back.
So like, where does that come from? Like, were you mimicking? Did it just come naturally?
I think it just like kind of came naturally. I don't know. It's kind of hard to put my finger on. Honestly, I grew up like a basketball junkie. So I think like, even if you're not like intentionally like watching and like paying attention,
like osmosis.
You're just like absorbing what you're consuming. And
she didn't exaggerate it. She didn't have to. The timeline spoke for itself. This was her first real stretch stuck in injury jail, and you could tell she hated every minute. For someone built to compete nonstop, being forced to sit and watch is torture, like asking a Ferrari to take up knitting. Her rehab was a mix of hope and frustration. Some days she felt just a stretch away from being game ready. Other days, her body made it clear she wasn't going anywhere. In between, she filled the time with Disney movies, sports psychology sessions, and a little self-care. Picture it, Caitlin Clark watching Moana for the 10th time, sipping tea, jotting down affirmations, and off to the side, a resistance band waiting to ruin the vibe.
you feel about Caitlin being out? A lot of people are looking forward to you two facing off for the first time.
Yeah, I hope she has a speedy recovery. I think player safety is most important, so making sure you're 100% before you step out on the floor can lead to worse things, so I'm glad she's taking care of her body. But there'll be plenty of matches.
Here's where the interview quietly turned up the heat, without anyone raising their voice. The pressure around Caitlin Clark is enormous. It's not just her team counting on her. The league doesn't just want her back, they need her. Fans are craving those deep threes and logo shots. Sponsors know merchandise doesn't move the same without her on the floor, and there's another layer no one says out loud, the money. Caitlin's brand is its own mini economy. Even while injured, she's still out there signing autographs, posing for photos, and smiling through the grind. But that pace isn't sustainable forever. She knows her absence isn't just a sports story, it's a business headline. Sue Bird kept her composure, steering the conversation smoothly. But everyone watching was waiting for the big one, the comeback question. When is Caitlin Clark returning? Will she shock everyone and show up in uniform next week? Or are we in for a long, drawn-out suspense story?
The organization do, and I'd say it's very much kept under wraps what's going on with Caitlin Clark. But let's take a listen right here.
As we start to answer some questions. First question comes from Krista, who asked this, and she follows up, to your knowledge, is Caitlin practicing with the team at all yet? And just in case anybody's listening to this only, Chloe, do you have any updates whatsoever on Caitlin Clark's health status?
The most I know is, what's already been reported in the sense of she's been running up and down full speed.
Caitlin's answer was deliberate, almost surgical. No date, no concrete details, just enough hints to make you think mid to late August, while leaving the door open for an earlier surprise. The Fever clearly want to be cautious. They're thinking long-term, because rushing a star back from injury is like microwaving steak, faster, sure, but a decision you regret instantly. Then came the emotional curveball. Caitlin shared something her mom told her: she's not built for quiet comebacks. When she returns, it's going to be big. The first time she touches the ball, expect the crowd to erupt. Expect commentators to have their "she's back" lines ready. And don't be surprised if Twitter crashes for 15 minutes.
Now, 64% of the WNBA is black. All right, Caitlin Clark comes in and is immediately the biggest star in the league. Immediately. And merchandising in every other way. Apparently, there's some jealousy that might be manifesting itself into physical, inappropriate.
Sue Bird knew it. That little glint in her eye said, I know exactly how this comeback will go, and you're all going to lose your minds. She's been there. She's felt the hype machine at full throttle and knows how to ride it without getting swallowed. The beauty of this interview was its restraint. It didn't dump every answer on the table. It teased. It dangled. It gave just enough for the headlines, but kept the real story tucked away for the encore. That's how you keep fans hooked, not with neat closure, but with the promise of chaos waiting just around the corner. And make no mistake, when Caitlin Clark steps back onto the hardwood, she'll have that "I told you I'd be back" look. This injury saga hasn't just been a storyline, it spawned its own little ecosystem of speculation, like March Madness crossed with a conspiracy theory subreddit.
People can say what they want, but there's not a player in the WNBA that impacts their team more than Caitlin Clark and has the responsibility that Caitlin Clark has for their team. When we talk about an engine, when we talk about passing, scoring, facilitating, gravity on the basketball court, when we talk about all these different things and all these different patterns, that the way that she plays and the way that she gets her spots and her movement on the court, and she plays the game with a unique rhythm.
You've got the "she's already healthy and just waiting for the perfect TV ratings moment" crowd, the ones tracking her grocery store runs, cross-referencing the number of steps from her car to the door with projected recovery timelines. If she lifts a gallon of milk without wincing, boom, instant 12-minute YouTube breakdown. Then there are the seasons-over pessimists, convinced Caitlin filmed the interview from a hospital bed hooked up to life support. They freeze-frame every micro-movement like, "See that twitch? That's proof she's not back until 2026. These are the folks who could turn a sneeze into a press release, and somewhere in the middle sit the casual fans, who clicked in expecting a friendly chat between two legends and left feeling like they just watched the basketball version of Inception. 2 weeks later, they're still staring into space, wondering if Sue Bird's smirk in minute 7 meant early September, or "don't ask me until Christmas."
when Paige Becker said she doesn't think that her and Caitlin Clark play alike, she wasn't lying. She was telling the complete truth because I see it more than ever right now. At first, when Paige said this, I was like, she might be hating. But now that I'm actually seeing why she said it, she's just trying to save herself, to make people know that, hey, we are not the same.
Sue Bird, by the way, plays her part in this whole spectacle like a master puppeteer. She's got this uncanny gift for reacting in ways that could mean everything or absolutely nothing. Raise an eyebrow? Clearly Caitlin's back next game. Lean back in her chair? Must be hinting at a months-long absence. Take a sip of water mid-sentence? Oh, that's obviously code for she's suiting up for the home opener after the Olympics. It's like the Da Vinci Code, but for point guards, and Caitlin, whether she realizes it or not, is feeding the frenzy perfectly. She's a pro at the non-answer answer, the kind that feels like news until you replay it and realize you've been expertly sidestepped. Meanwhile, fan accounts are pumping out montage edits of Sue nodding, set to inspirational music, as if she's personally blessing Caitlin's road to recovery. Entire threads are devoted to decoding her tone, her posture, and whether that laugh at 3:14 was a confident laugh or a hiding the pain laugh.
Got people that are resentful towards her, but not. It's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of shine. This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along and she wreaks havoc.